Kind of similar with the last one. I kind of want to know how you feel about this one and what hit you. Uh, yeah, I'm really proud of this song in a lot of ways. But I kind of want to hear where you're at first.
Um, I don't I don't really remember like you um showing me this song at the same time. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like at the same time as Drifting, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's probably because I felt the same way about it as I
Yeah,
did with
yeah,
Drifting.
yeah.
Like, almost like, are you trying to make me feel bad now?
Yeah,
Like, like
yeah.
I don't know.
That's the other thing too. It's like if I come home and I'm like, I wrote this song about how deeply I love you and feel about you while you're mad at me. It's like, is this a low blow? Like, is this a low blow? Is it actually communicating, or is it just like, oh yeah, dick? Like when you go and apologize to somebody and they're like, it's like, I was wrong. I wanted to let you know that I was wrong, and you know that you also did some stuff that was wrong, and they're just like, I'm so sorry for what I did. You're like, hate you. Now I can't just be mad at you now. Now I look like a bad guy if I stay mad.
I think part of it though with this one, like the way you wrote it, it was hard for me to understand too, like what
Yeah,
you
you did ask.
exactly you were communicating.
I remember you asked about that too.
Like obviously I get the message
Mm-hmm.
because the sound, like how you're singing,
Mm-hmm.
and like I can get the idea from the
Right.
the lyrics,
Right.
but at the same time it was like, what are you really saying? Like,
Yeah. I, that's part of what I'm. So when we talked about it, I think parts of the verses 1 and 2 were like even flip flopped. Were like in between. Like I went back and forth because all of the stanzas they can kind of be interchanged. And they say something slightly different depending on the order that you put them in. And so I might have flipped some of them to make it more clear because I remember you asking me questions. I don't know if it was then, it was probably not then because you got up and walked away, but stone faced, got up, taking a shower. I was like, I'll be back. Walked out. You walked out on me. I turned into, but like, but I do remember at one point in time you asking me questions about it and me explaining it, and it helped me kind of readjust the order of it some to make it communicate more clearly. But until I sat here and read the lyrics, I had forgotten how much this song really is just like Drifting. Like there's a slightly different focus, there's a different emotion in both of them, but it's very clear to me that they're about the same thing and that I'm saying the same thing. Especially with like the second verse, like so many questions of who's at fault. I knew the answers but never called. I guess my message read loud and clear. It's like, yo, if I knew that I agreed with you, it's like, why didn't I make a bigger deal of that? Of like, oh, I hear what you're saying, and like being more clear about where I was at, and the onus falling on me for communication, and how hard it must be to just be with me in the positions that I'm in and the things that I do, like the high and mighty with a heavy crown. Never saw how it weighed you down. And I was thinking a lot about the future. Like now we're always home, but you're never here. I didn't feel like we were in that place yet, but I felt like we were going that direction. And I was thinking about if things stay the way that they are now, where they'll be. And I'm like, man, what a waste. Like that would be so terrible because I actually love you so much. I actually love you so much. And I would never want a lack of communication to stop you from realizing how much I actually love you, even when we're mad at each other. Like, I would never want that to stop. And so this was kind of my olive branch a little bit. And it's like, I love this song because when I sat with my mentor, an older mentor that I had when I was at Washburn, he talked to me about his marriage. I think I brought this up before, how he had gone through a divorce and different things that happened, and he was like, "No, I would never get divorced now. I understand Scripture so much better now." And he's like, "This is what I should have done. We should have gone through a separation. I should have given her space. Probably should have gotten therapy. He went through all this other stuff, and he's like, He's like, I never should have gotten a divorce. I always should stay there. And he's the first person that really broke down to me what it meant to love your wife like Christ loves the church. And he's like, what did Christ do for the church? It's like, he died for him. Died for him. And he broke down for me what it meant for a wife to submit to her husband and for a husband to love a wife. He's like, your wife submits to you because you're following God's headship. You're supposed to be leading the way. And so she submits to you because it makes the most sense for her to submit to you because you're leading the way in following Christ. And so it's like he had broken all that down for me to where this place where it just, long story short, it was like, you are always willing to give up anything for your wife, short of God for your wife. That's how Christ loved us. He gave up all of his status, all of his positions, all of his comfort. He gave up everything for us. That's how we should love our wife. And so when I wrote this song, I thought about that, of like how much God loves us and how much Christ loves us and how Christ is always right and he still lets us feel like we're right sometimes. So in a way, this song's a little aspirational. It's a bit of an apology of like, I don't know who's right or who's wrong. I don't know. I don't care. I want to love you the way that Christ loves the church. I would give up anything, even if it meant I couldn't be a famous musician or I couldn't make music or I'd give it up. I'd give it up. If you won't stay, I'll fall from grace. Like, I'll give it up because I love you. I love you. So, yeah.
Like hearing this song makes me feel one way. Hearing you talk about this song makes me feel another way. Like, it just adds, like, after I've already heard the song and I can take in, like, your emotions, like, what you say about the song, like, as you describing it, like, it means more. So it's funny you say that. It probably doesn't mean anything. But, no, because the emotion was there. I already feel some type of way. So it's, like, easier to take in what your process of writing it and stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know that we've really talked about this that much, and so I was just processing what you just said. When
I finally start performing this song, I want to share not the story of the fight and all that, like, but I want to share. I always have, because I make secular music with a sacred message. I always have a point where I share the gospel either through a song or through something, and I want this to be my gospel song. Because I want to share, like, this is how much Christ loves you. Like, for anyone who's in the audience who doesn't know it, like, Jesus was a real person who lived a real life, and he loved you so much. He loved you so much that he literally gave up the best thing that the universe has to offer. Being one with God, being in this space. He's in heaven, the place that all of us, even if those of us who don't believe, want to get to. He was there, and he's like, I'll leave it for you. That's how much I love you. And it's like, I want people to see, that's how much I love my wife. But also, like, that's how much Christ loves us. And I feel like our marriages should be a reflection of how Christ feels about us.
I was just thinking about how over the last year, we've started saying whenever we do get frustrated or upset with each other, it's like, like, no matter what, I'm for you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm just mad. Like, and I feel like it's taken us years to get to that place. We may have thought that on our own, or wanted to be in that place. But I feel like, after a couple years, we were like, no, we really are. Like, we can say it. We are communicating better to where it's like, we both know that's what we're there. Like, we both know we want this to work out. We don't there's no one foot out the door. There's no like holding options, like, I don't, like, we're in it. And I think, like, at this point in time, I don't think that confidence was really there, even though neither of us were, the type to give up or anything. But, like, now it's like, it's so reassuring to know, like, we're both in that place, and we like, anytime we're upset with each other, we can still tell each other, like, Yes, I'm for you. I'm with you. Like,
it's one thing to feel
mad.
that way. It's another thing to know that the other person feels
Yeah,
that way.
exactly.
It changes everything. Man, I'm so proud of where we come. I'm so proud of where we've come to over these 5 years. Got to celebrate our 5th anniversary this year.
What?
I know. I'm so proud of where we've come to, both personally. We had to do a lot of personal work, a lot of individual work. Yeah. And I'm still doing some. I mean, we're both still, yeah. Our whole family.
Whatever.
Our whole family's still working through. But, yeah, I do feel like we're in a different place. Even when we have some of the same fights, it's like we finished that fight and it's like, it felt like we were fighting over the same thing, but we're in a better place. Like you can see the difference, like when we're upset with each other over some of those same things, you can see the difference. Like, nah, but this is different now because of all of those other things we've processed, how we've grown personally and how we've grown interpersonally. Like you can see the difference in the result of how quickly we get through that fight, of the type of solutions we put in place after that fight. We're not just like, all right, I'm no longer mad, so we'll just move on. We'll just move on. Like we can actually work through some things. And sometimes we find out stuff about ourselves as we work through those things of like, I didn't realize I had that trauma wound and that I don't ask questions because I'm afraid of people realizing that I don't know something. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how much that impacted our relationship. I didn't realize, and it's like, it allows all that other stuff to get out of the way where you really can hear that message that I am with you, that I am for you. And you can trust that the other person feels the same, that they feel that way and they can trust that you feel that way. And we can actually grow together. Mm-hmm. We can actually grow together. It's a work in process.